Good morning, everybody. Saturday morning, you're back. Tune in. Here we are, back at the Collectors Radio Show for every Saturday morning. Okay. We're going to go ahead and roll through your comments here and everything. So we talked about some stuff last week and about the new royal blue python that was out and everything, how excited we are. I'm definitely excited for that. I've already got my name on a watch list for that, so in case it pops up. So, and of course, well, actually, there's a comment here that's referring to that. So let's actually go ahead and read the comments. Again, if your comment was not read, it's probably after production of the show here, because we try to get the show rolling early this week, earlier during the week, so that we can actually get it aired for you on Saturday, so it can come out properly for you and everything. And it does air really, really early because I know the depends on the I guess the time, the whatever you call, like, you know, wherever time you're at, or whatever state you're going to be at, you know. So we usually air it fairly early in the morning. Some of you, I guess, catch the show pretty early. So, all right, here we are. Slim Fire, you are up here first listed. Morning, and I hope you're having a great day. That's what I love about this radio show, is sharing stories and info on everyday life, lessons and ideas. Let me see, there's more here, and ideas. Have a great weekend. Thanks, Slim. We do appreciate that, Slim. I know this show is a part of a lot of your lives, that you know, the first thing you do, you get up in the morning, you get that cup of coffee, and you're tuned in right here. So that's really awesome. Again, if I'm mispronouncing your name, I'm sorry. The way this whole thing has got it set up, the way your name is read here now, I don't know if it's just strange. I'm not sure. Myself and Squib 1911, or Squib Load, or Squib Lift, one of his channels there, we were talking about this, so about how they've kind of listed it differently and strange. This is from Choppa. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I am a 34-year-old subscriber and fellow collector of Smith pre-lock revolvers. Really cool stuff to collect there. I love a lot of the old school Smiths. Good to see someone without gray hair. Cherish those older pieces. Wish there were more like us. Yeah, you know what? I mean, I've always loved and collected older stuff since the beginning of me purchasing these things and going after it. Really wasn't. It wasn't so much like I didn't go after it in a collector's mindset. It was because all the old movies that I was watching and still watch to this day, that's what influenced me to buy them. I mean, why else would you want to buy a Model 29 other than because you saw Dirty Harry and wore out your VCRs watching it so many times, things like that. And that's about it. I mean, and I've mentioned that many times before. That's the extent of the, you know, for me, the firearm stuff. I mean, it kind of just ended up that way, where it's like, hey, you know, I saw it in this really cool movie. Now there is some stuff that I have for as range toys that I bought, you know, custom built stuff like that I've actually kind of broke into with that. It really doesn't have a movie relationship so much as to me, it was like having a fine glass of wine that was like, you know what, this is really good. I really want that to enjoy. And so it kind of led to that way as well. But yeah, it is. I love the old school Smiths, and I really like the fact that Colt had done what they did, and they're doing that with their snake guns. I wish that they, you know, for whatever reason, didn't lose the ability to, from what I understand, the rumor, the ability to call the Diamondback due to another company. That's kind of junk, because I really wish they would have done that. I think that's what they did with the King Cobra. I think is taken the place of the Diamondback now, which is, you know, hopefully they... I'm hoping that they, now with the bluing and everything, I hope they really focus on a lot of their snake guns and revive that. I really hope they do. I hope they continue doing that, because I think it's for the better. Really, I do. All right, John Crane here. Good morning to you for Virginia. Appreciate that all the way up there. And we have my fellow friends over there, Beretta 9mm USA, Mr. Barnett's math class. Yes, the comment of, boy, they're getting loud today. That snake eyes python is so beautiful. The new blue pythons are giving me that Magnum Force vibe. Yes, absolutely. Oops, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to thumbs down that comment. I'm trying to go scroll through it. We were sad to hear of David Soul's recent passing. Anyway, my fellow Southpaw, thank you for another great Collectors radio show. Have a wonderful weekend, sir. That's from Young Beretta, and I do appreciate that. And I know I've read some of your other comments saying that you guys have tuned in to the show together on the big screen. That's really cool. Yeah, you know what? I want to elaborate a little bit on that comment because that was so great. First of all, I can't express how much I think the Beretta 9mm USA channel is absolutely just top notch. Those two make a great team. There was a video I was watching, by the way, I just got to mention this, that was just, I just loved it because it was funny, it was wholesome, it was just a really cool moment of just a father-son duo thing out there doing that. It was Beretta Senior was they were doing a review with that I think it was a Mossberg Shockwave or whatnot, and it was in 20 gauge. And he was in the bush, like in the brush, trying to shoot. I don't know what was going on there, but that was such a great video. And as all your content is, it really is. I think you guys do the best reviews, best range stuff out there. It really is. You guys take it to the top, and it really is my go-to channel. I don't think it really, a lot of other places don't hold much of a candle to you guys. You guys are top notch out there. I really do. I really think that it's my go-to channel when I want to look at other stuff and check out 1911s and everything. So wonderful team out there. It's really cool to see channels like that are out there. And of course, I really do appreciate what they're doing. But I'm referring to that Mr. Barnett's math class thing. That's what I mean about, like, I've checked out other channels, or back when I did a lot more, and I gotta admit, I'm sorry, I don't watch a whole lot of firearms related channels out there. I just don't. Beretta 9mm USA is about the only one I do actually tune into. But what I mean is, like, I never want to come off on like that just, everybody that has, been to school long enough knows that there is that one class, that one subject that, that is taught by a teacher where you are literally like this in that class because of the way they are. I had to, back when I had this other job, we used to have to go and get our lead levels checked, our blood drawn, and lead levels checked because of the environment, and we were involved with the firearms and the shooting range and everything. There was this doctor that was conducting all of it, and I tell you, just the way he just was. I mean, it was just like, for those of you, you know what I'm talking about when I'm referring to that kind of stuff. So. No, I mean, and you guys are, there's a lot of you guys that do really well with not, we're coming off a little bit better and not so stale. And you guys definitely hit it out of the park there with that. All right, Jeffrey Richardson, absolutely agree with you, assuming you're talking about our discussion on the pythons. Crazy Scotsman, yes, we all keep those we lost alive every chance we get. It is the simplest way to honor them. I knew Colt would come out with the blued version. They had to. It would have been crazy not to. Exactly. That was what I was thinking. I'm like, they got to do it. There's too much. There's just way too much traction for it. There's just too many people. They've already gone this way, and they did it right. You know, again, not to rehash what we already discussed, but they did it right. All right, Mike says, in time, I really hope to see you showing off your blue python. You will, Mike. I guarantee it. In the meantime, put some money away every paycheck. There is plenty of time to save without trading something else, and you are correct. The local shop will have yours in the display case. Best wishes from Montana. P.S. What barrel length do you want? Good points. I love this comment. A great comment. Yes, there is plenty of time for us to save money and wait to snag one up. Those of us that want to get one of those new blue pythons. I myself have nothing left to trade off or sell off because everything is gone. I know. I'm sorry. Oh, did I really just say that? Yes. I've really kept the bare minimum these days. So I don't have anything left to get rid of that I wouldn't miss dearly because it's my favorites. That's what it's boiled down to. I only have my favorites left, and so if I trade them off, I won't have anything left to play with. So, but anyway, that being said, yes, that's a good point. Those of you, hold off, wait. There's going to be, don't rush out and pay for them, because I'm gonna touch on a little bit here again. Just wait, the market will saturate. In fact, I think it's going to be I think it's going to saturate a little quicker this time because they're out. It's not like this is a brand new thing. All this is just a different finish. So it's just those select people that want that blued one. That's what this is going to appeal to. And that's it. People like me that, yes, Magnum Force and all that kind of stuff, it really gets me. It really that's my interest right there, big time. And the fact that this is actually a stronger, better python that we can actually enjoy, take to the range. But I think the majority of the people, the real rekindling interest in the python was definitely, which I did not watch, the TV show called Walking Dead. I think that had a lot of influence in the interest in that gun, which he carries a nickel-plated one or something like that in it. So that high-polished stainless one, I think, served that purpose there. What barrel length do I want? The emotional part of me wants the 6-inch, because that's the classic. That's like to me, the ultimate python. It's like the 6-inch barrel. It just looks awesome. It's just the way it looks. It's the true Cadillac. But then that other part says, I really want that 4 because of Magnum Force. Love Magnum Force. Rest in peace, David Saul. That was, I tell you, that the whole scene where they're at the range and he's shooting the bullseye, and then he says, he goes, he edged you by 4 points, Callahan. But since you're the guy, what do you want to do, combat or whatever? And so they do the combat shoot house thing, and it's really cool. That was the first time you could see like a movie. And mind you, this is in the 70s. They're showing the speed loaders. They're showing them, do the things. And somebody actually commented on one of them. He says, notice these guys are just straight up in their plain clothes. They're, nobody's got cargo pants and all that stuff. So really interesting. But yeah, that's it for that. And we lost David Saul. We lost Apollo Creed. I mean, the man, Action Jackson himself. Carl Weathers, and then actually just yesterday during the taping of this, we had lost, for those of you that like country music, which I'm not the biggest fan, but I do know who he is, and I think he's got a couple of good songs, Toby Keith. That's really a shame that we get such talented people, and so young, really so young. Toby Keith, even though I'm not a big country music fan at all, really, Toby Keith had a couple hits that even I liked that were really good, and it's a shame to see such people like that create beauty in the world and bring us music and things like that we can enjoy for forever pass away like that. That's a shame. But he will live on with his music, so the others will live on through the movies and films that they've made to help us, remember all those times and everything. And that's just, to me, the scary thing is life is just going on so fast that you really don't. It's like, wow, you barely have time to keep up. It's like so. It is moving very fast. All right. I'm sorry, I'm not going to attempt to pronounce your name, but it says, I sure like my Smiths more than my Colts. I do like Smiths. I've always been kind of more of a Smith & Wesson person rather than a Colt person, but I do like the Python and the Diamondback, obviously, for these film-related reasons. All right, Joe P. Swig of coffee for Joe, in my case, juice. I was happy to see the blued version of Python release at SHOT Show. And since I love my Smith & Wesson Classic Line Model 29, I'm guessing that I will love the new version Colt. Do you think that the vintage Python grips will fit on the new version? The rumor is they do. The rumor is that they do, Joe. Actually, I'm glad you kind of mentioned that. We're going to talk about that right before we do it. Antonio says, how is Mauna Loa? Bye-bye. Last I know, Mauna Loa was erupting a couple years ago, but nothing since. Then again, I only keep up very little. In fact, my last of my family is moved out of there, so that's going to be kind of it. No reason for me to go back now. Anyway, talking about the grips, Joe. I'm glad you kind of mentioned talk about grips, because I'm a big on grips. I really am. I'm huge on grips, as you know. I love the old school, any kind of old school grips. But I draw the line with some stuff, because there's some grips out there that it costs. Like there's some Smith grips, and a lot of the Python grips, the old school ones. I mean, when you're talking, they're costing hundreds of dollars. I kind of get like, I don't really know if I can pull that. I just can't do that. One that comes to my mind is the 3-inch barreled end frame Smith & Wessons. Those Lou Hortons that were out. There's a stainless one. There was a blued one. The model they're like the Model 29, the blued 3-inch, the 629 one, like the Dash one or something. And then there's like the Model 624, which is the 44 Special. Those grips on it, because it's a round butt frame grip. Excuse me. And they're called like combat grips or something. They're smooth, or normally some checkering on them or something. And they wrap around, and it's kind of like it looks like a banana. In fact, I think some of them got the nickname banana grips. But it's got these really big finger grooves down the thing. But if you look at those, they cost like a fortune. I mean, seriously, I've seen them on like eBay, and they're like, I've seen one set like $400, and I just go, whoa, I can't do it. $400, I can't, I don't know, I can't do it. As far as the Python grips, as somebody that's had, I had the 3-inch barreled one with the regular grips, the regular alt mount, I think, made grips. I'm fine with them. They were fine. They were good enough for me. They represented the old school ones close enough. They weren't exactly like the old ones, but they were close enough to me for me to just deal with the stock grips. I liked them. They were not bad. I have the 2.5-inch Python right now, the Snake Eyes one. I call it the Snake Eyes one because that's what I remember seeing it originally as for. But now they cost a fraction of the price, and we can just go down to any store and get them. That's great. Anyway, but the original OEM grips that came on it by Alt Mount, they're too thin. I think they were too thin. If they were beefed up a little bit more and wider, I would say I would like them a whole lot more. And that's coming from somebody that I don't have like extra large hands, and I'm still saying that they need some thickness to them so you can hold on to it properly, and so it doesn't, sting your hands as much. It displaces some of that recoil. But on that note, I do believe the old school grips will fit on them if that's what you choose to want to do. I also know that it's really cool because the Anaconda, those wood Python grips will fit on the Anaconda as well, so they're interchangeable, so that's really cool. But I kind of I'm more drawn into that because I'm looking at this as something that I want to enjoy, take to the range, blast it, and if the grips get a little chipped up or dented from jacking the shells or whatever out of there, kind of like, you know, trying to be like Magnum Force or something, I want to make sure that, hey, it's cool, it's no big deal, because, you know, this is a production line stuff. We can just, you know, it's out there, it's right now currently in production. So I think that's really neat that's, you know, out there. But yeah, I'm not into that whole I can't do it when it comes to some of those prices on the grips. I just can't pull the trigger on that. I start drawing the line when it's like $100. $100, you're pushing it with me. That's just me. $100, you're really pushing it with me for some grips. I don't think I've ever seldomly, I can't even think when I paid over 100 for some grips. I really can't think of it because that's where I kind of draw the line. When you're talking 75, 80 bucks, stuff like that, I'm like kind of like, okay, I think, but it has to be something I really, really want. But to me, the sweet zone with grips, you know, that $25 to $50 range, I think that's right where, you know, I think I'd rather be with a lot of that stuff. So, but anyway, yeah, as also with the news, I may be in and out of California area. So if you happen to, you know, be out there in that area, if you see me, say hello. You know, always appreciate meeting everybody and meeting people out there. So, but anyway, yeah, I'm gonna leave you to it. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. I did. But yeah, more talks in the, you know, I love talking about that new Python again. Really excited about that, you know, because it's just so cool because we get to have a production line and we get to see it, you know, as a catalog item, you know, for some of us again. And, you know, for me, it's just like, yeah, it's so neat to see something from yesteryear that I missed out on for my generation, that here it is as a production line. It's available. It's out there in the stores. We can go buy it. And I will say this, and I'm definitely 100% confident in this, and I will tell you this again, that I really do believe this is one of those rare occasions that the new one has surpassed the old one. I really do feel that way. I think it's a lot more durable. I've said it last radio, and I will say it again. If somebody put two blued 6-inch pythons on the table right here and said that one's from 1978 vintage, or that's the newest one that's out, which one would you take? I'd take that new one because I want to play with it at the range. I want to shoot it, and I don't want it to go out of time. I always felt that was my biggest thing about the Python. And I know Python lovers are going to hate me for it and they're going to grill me on this one, but I've always said I felt that gun was really fragile feeling. So anyway, we'll see you next week.